What's going on, traders? We got a few things to talk about. Before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So right now, things are still not looking good. And one of the key levels I gave you guys last video was 584. Now, if you've been following this channel up until this point, we saw what happened when we broke below 598. Remember, I kept telling you guys, watch out for 598. You break below 598, you're going to see domestic violence across the market. You're going to head towards the 570s. Feel free to check if you're new to the channel. I've said this in multiple videos prior to Jerome Powell. You break below 598, you're heading towards the 570s, and that still stand. I still think we're heading towards the 570s. But right now, before you jump the gun, you want to see 584 break. You break below 584 on the SPY, you are heading towards 576. Why 576? Well, you see it right here. You're looking at not one, but two gap fills, okay? You got a gap here, and you have another gap here. Now, I encourage you, if you're new to the channel, go back to my previous videos where I think the thumbnail says whales are loading puts. I told you guys, whales are loading up 576 puts, okay? 576 puts. And look where we're heading towards. We're heading towards 576. Now, we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you get a much better view on what happened today. So what happened? You broke below this rising channel, right? And look what happened. Bulls tried to bring us back towards the upside. Bears stepped in almost immediately and broke us down all over again. Now, the SPY is kind of dropping pretty fast after hours. And right now we're at 585. We closed at 586. And right now we're at like 584.95. It is after hours. Take it with a grain of salt. But it looks like we might see that move right at open. So we'll see. But 584 is what I want you guys to focus on. Now, what happens once we hit 576? Are we going to get a bounce from there? Now, I do have a target beyond 576, and right now I'm looking at about 570s. But what I do think is going to happen before we even think to head towards that target is that we get some type of bounce. What do I tell you guys on this channel all the time? Gaps have very strong support and resistance, so I don't expect an immediate breakdown unless, I don't know, maybe we get some like black swan insane news. I don't know. But regardless, I do expect some type of bounce from that 576 target where we see a move such as this, where we break the 584, possibly retest it, break further down, fill this gap, and then we start heading back towards the upside. And then that's where I will look for that move towards 595, even a move as high as about 602, right? And so heading into next week, I don't expect much to happen next week, but if we do see 576 prior to next week, I imagine that it's going to be a low volume week, of course, but then we're going to see like a slow grind back towards the upside, probably towards 595. Highest I'm looking at is about 602, 604 range. Okay. And then after that, maybe, just maybe, I'm not anticipating it. I don't think it's going to happen. I could be wrong. Maybe we get some type of Santa rally towards newer highs. Okay. It's not a Santa rally until we break new highs. If we don't break new highs, then it's just simply a retest back towards the upside. Okay. So I do imagine that if we hit 576 or even head towards 570, which is actually my actual target, if we hit 570 and get some type of bounce from there, then I imagine once we start rallying back to the upside, everybody's going to say it's a Christmas rally. But for me, it's not a Christmas rally until you break new highs and make newer highs. And that new high target will be about 610 as far as I'm concerned. So that's what I'm looking at in regards to the SPY. Again, 584, mark it on your charts. All right. Triple Qs. So triple Qs is breaking down as well. Right now, I have a price target of 508, 510 on the triple Qs. After hours is at 512, so it looks like we're going to see that target probably at open. We do have PCE data in the morning, so maybe that causes it. So I don't think the market is expecting anything good off that data. I think it's pretty obvious it's going to end up being pretty bad. We'll see. But regardless, 510 is what I'm looking at on the triple Qs. I actually showed the Discord members that whales are loading up 510 puts for tomorrow. So yeah, if you want access to this information, you can either click the link in the description below. Quant data gives me a lot of the information in regards to options chain, what the whales are doing, what are they trading, when are they even getting out, things like that. So definitely want to check that link out. But if you don't want to pay for it or anything like that, you just can join the Discord link. It's a lot cheaper, trust me. You can join the Discord link in the description below. I put out information on what the whales are doing almost every single day. So right now, like I said, whales are loading up 510 puts, and right now they are making a nice little bag off of that. So my next target from here is about 508 on the triple Qs, 508, 505 range. I said in the last video that I think we're going to head as low as 492. Okay, if you're new to the channel, I know you're probably like, this guy is insane. But for those of you who've been on this channel for quite some time, you gotta let them know. Okay, let them know we are spot on this channel. Okay, I gave you guys that 576 target. Look where we're heading. All right, 492. I think the triple Qs is going to head towards 492. I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow. I think it's going to happen after another bounce. We're obviously not going to just break straight through 500 and head towards 492. Now, why 492? So, right about here, here we go. So right here, you have a gap at 492 that needs to be filled. So I do imagine if we continue to see more downside, that that is where we are heading. And then from there, we see some type of bounce. So 492 is what I'm looking at. When that happens, really tough to say, but I do imagine it's going to happen by January 17th. Okay, January 17th is what I'm looking at for the SPY to hit about 576 and then Qs to hit about 490. All right. So that's what I'm looking at for the triple Qs. In regards to upside, if we just so happen to get some type of bounce, because we are still within this rising wedge pattern, right? If we get some bounce from here, maybe this is like a fake out or something, then I'm looking at a retest back towards the 530s. And then if we hit 530s before we even see 508 or even 492 for that matter, I'm definitely going to be looking to load up puts, but we'll see what happens from here. All right, so that's what I'm looking at in regards to the SPY and the triple Qs. Let's look at Bitcoin. I told you guys last video, Bitcoin breaks below 100K, you are heading to the abyss. One thing Bitcoin likes to do is it breaks targets. It likes to stop hunt. Okay, so when it breaks targets, so for example, I believe yesterday it broke 100K, then went back above 100K, and then it broke down again. And remember, I told you guys about 102K when I said if Bitcoin breaks above 102K, you're heading towards 108K. It did that. It broke above 102K, broke back down, and then broke back above it again. So Bitcoin loves to stop hunt. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. It loves to stop hunt before it actually continues the original move. So 100K, we broke below 100K, and then we broke below 98,500. Bitcoin key level you want to look out for is about 94K. You break below 94K, you're heading towards 92K, and then from there 90K. Me personally, I think we're just going to continue to head further down, and the target I am looking at is about 85,000. Okay, 85,000 is what I'm looking at in regards to Bitcoin. Other than that, that's all I really have to say. Until you break back above 102K, not much to talk about in regards to Bitcoin having upside. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. All right, VIX. The VIX. All right, so um, VIX, like I told you guys, 35 is my target. We saw some type of pullback today. That's great. That's awesome. But still, this thing is heading towards 35. I gave you guys a target of 16. We hit that target. I gave you guys a target of 18. We hit that target. And I gave you guys a target of 20 gap fill. And we blew past that target and headed as high as 27. I think the VIX is going to head towards 35. I'm not saying it's going to happen in one day, but I would watch out for that move. Now, what's good for the bulls here, okay? What is good news for the Bulls here is there is a gap all the way down at the 13, 14, well, 13.8, 14 range. So could be a sign that we may see some type of Santa rally. I don't know. All right. I'm not counting on it, but something to think about, something to look forward to. This gap fill. If the VIX just so happen to hit 35 prior to that, I would definitely look for some type of recovery back towards the downside. And then obviously the market would do the inverse of the VIX. So that's what I'm looking at in regards to the VIX. Um, 35. That's what you got to look out for, guys. 35. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for the VIX. Now let's look at some stocks real quick. So first stock I want to look at is Tesla. So yeah, Tesla, yeah, this thing's tanking after hours as well. But Tesla, this thing, believe it or not, 350. 350. It sounds crazy. This thing is going to tank. All right. I truly believe that we are in 350 puts in the Discord. 350 puts for February 21st. I think Tesla is going to continue to head further down. Your key level here. All right. Your key level 423. Tesla breaks below 423. Chances are it's heading towards 397, 400 range. All right. So that's what you want to look out for. In regards to upside, 449. 449, you can say 450 psych level. Breaks below above 450. You're heading towards 457, possibly 460s. But that's what I'm looking at for Tesla. This thing is absolutely diabolical right now. I think it's going to continue to see further downside from here. Now, it is within this pattern. So if it just so happens to break below that, then yeah, things can get really ugly. So why am I saying 350? All right. So why am I saying 350? Let's actually go back. So I just want to get rid of this so we can get like a better view here. All right. So 350. Why 350? Right here, guys. All right. triple top. You broke above this triple top, but you never retested it. You never retested this. Okay. So 350. Whales are loading up puts for 350 on Tesla. I'm going to do the same. All right. So 350 right here. I'm looking for some type of retest here by February and then possibly see more upside. So that's what I'm looking at for Tesla. I mean, you see it clear as day. You just broke out above this triple top. You never retested it. You never came back to it. So at some point in time, I expect some type of retest here. Anytime you break above a key level, there's a chance in the future that you should expect in the future, whether it's the near future or the long term future, you expect some type of retest to eventually happen. Sometimes regular moves cause that. Sometimes earnings causes those moves. But regardless, at some point in time, Tesla needs to retest 350, 360, more or less. All right. So that's what I'm looking at for Tesla. Next up is let's actually look at semiconductors ETF SMH. So I told you guys in, I want to say the last video or two, I told you guys we are in 220 puts in the Discord for SMH. This thing is absolutely diabolical right now, and it is absolutely breaking down. So it's falling within our favor. Now, right now, SMH is below the 200 daily SMA. I told you guys multiple times, it respects the 200 daily SMA. Right now, it's disrespecting the thing. All right, so be careful here. All right, be very, very careful here. 200 daily SMA. This thing breaks below 200 daily SMA. You're heading towards, well, it already did, but you're heading towards 235. Now, what's interesting here, let me actually see if I can find it. Oh, okay. So this is what I was looking for right here. We could form a head and shoulders pattern here. So if we do get some type of bounce from here, I will watch SMH for a move towards 247. And then after that, definitely loading more puts. All right. So 220 puts for February 21st is what I'm currently in. Right now, it broke below the 200 daily SMA. Given what the SPY and the triple Qs is doing after hours, I imagine it's going to break further down. 235 is your first target. After that, you break below 235, which is your neckline right here for this potential head and shoulders pattern. You're looking at a move straight to the abyss, straight to 220s. All right. So that's what I'm looking at for SMH. And then we obviously got to look at NVIDIA, right? All right. So NVIDIA, like I said, nothing's changed for Nvidia. In regards to downside, I think Nvidia is heading towards 120, 119. Again, I want to make this clear. I'm not saying this is all going to happen tomorrow. It's looking like it's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. It can happen Monday, maybe, I don't know, after Christmas. But regardless, you're looking at a 4 hour time frame, head and shoulders pattern, clear as day. Shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. You broke back below the neckline. Okay, so you broke right back below this neckline. So chances are Nvidia is going to continue to see more downside. What you want to see is a break below 126. You break below 126, you're easily heading towards the 120s. Now, obviously, if SMH goes to 220, you're looking at a much bigger move to the downside, maybe like 110. I don't have that as a target yet, but if it correlates with SMH, I do imagine you're going to head towards the lower 100s in regards to Nvidia. So, I mean, you can't argue this head and shoulders pattern. You're breaking the neckline all over again. It gets below 130. Bye bye. All right, domestic violence. Your dad's not coming back with that milk. All right, so that's what I'm looking at in regards to Nvidia. Not looking good, guys. All right, not looking good for Nvidia. Next stock I want to look at is Apple. All right, Apple broke below 450. It stays below 450. You're looking at a move towards four. Why am I saying four? 250. 250. You break below 250. You're heading towards 245. Apple's just taking its time breaking down, but I've said this multiple times before. I would love to see Apple retest 237.5. The fact that it's taking its time breaking down, what the market is breaking down, just is very telling. So I do imagine once Apple starts to break down, that's when the market is really going to start breaking down. So yeah, you have your rejection here, and again, you never retested this level. So 237.5, 236, give or take. I'm looking for that retest, and I would definitely be looking to buy Apple around that area. So that's what I'm looking at. I really want this move to happen. I would love for this move to happen. Oh my gosh. Right there, boom. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for Apple. Other than that, that's all I have for this video. I mean, yeah, that's really all I have for this video. I usually, you guys already knew what I was about to do. But regardless, Discord link is in the description below if you want to see how I'm going to trade, if we're going to trade, so on and so forth. This will probably be the last video I put out for the week. heading into Christmas week, I don't expect much to happen. So I do expect some type of sell off tomorrow to continue. I can't imagine whales putting money on the table prior to Christmas break. We'll see. This is why I keep telling you guys, or I kept telling you guys, that I do think we're going to see a sell off this week, and everybody was trolling in my comments. But I do think the sell off is going to continue. I will be very much surprised we see some type of like bounce tomorrow. And when I say bounce, I mean like a real bounce, like a move all the way back towards what is it, 595 on a SPY or something just crazy like that. I don't expect a crazy move simply because I can't imagine whales wanting to put money on the table prior to one of the biggest holidays of the year, where you buy people gifts and you go on vacation and stuff. They're gonna want to cash out. They're gonna want to make their money. They're gonna want to buy planes and jets and buy their families gifts and buy themselves gifts and buy Rolexes and all that. They're gonna want to do all that stuff. So very hard for me to believe that they're going to keep money on the table, or at least a lot of money on the table. So that is what I'm expecting heading into tomorrow. Other than that, that's all I have. Um, until the next video, guys, you have a good one. Enjoy your holiday.